Howdy all, and welcome to Lex Lives. I think it's time to play a little Better Than Wolves. I'm just about done with this map. Just about done with this map. And then I can get back to feeding chickens. Because that's what I should be doing instead of playing with this map, you know? The problem is part of this map is in the deep jungle and I don't like it. Getting my feet on. I really thought I was gonna run into ocean at this point. It looks like we got a well, there's another little section of desert here. Then we got ocean, which I think I'm not gonna be able to do. Well, maybe. I'm just really worried about getting out there and getting caught up by the squids. Oh, you know what? This patch is too big. Can't get the whole thing. It's not ocean. Yeah, there it is. I did bring my boat, right? Nope. Who let me come out here without my boat? Did I just leave it in the river? Well, now I can't do the ocean part. Dang it. Alright, well, I'm gonna get this part along the top edge of the map anyways. Maybe. We can get there before the timer's up. I got distracted. There were people upstairs. They're yelling. Playing a video game. It distracted me. It happens. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm also running the vacuum, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on that too. Uh, oh geez, what is going on? Speaking of the vacuum, you have to give me a second here. I don't know. I don't know. So I got a vacuum. I got a robot vacuum, and I really like it a lot. A lot. I went through several vacuums over the course of a couple of years until I found a particular style that I like. Oop, now I'm off the map. And so I particularly like the Roborock brand. I've tried a few different ones. There was another one I liked, but it died real quick. Just stopped working one day, and so then I switched to a different one. I don't remember. I don't remember the name of the first one. It started with an X, and so, I don't know. Apparently, I'm gonna ramble about robot vacuums today. So, and so the first one, I don't. The first one just used. I'm trying to remember if the first one had LiDAR or not. I can't remember if the first one had LiDAR. I think it did. The first one had LiDAR, and so it made a little map of the house, and then I could tell it where to go and where not to go. And so that was good. And then the next one I got was and then but it quit working after like, I don't know, 3 months or so. Just wouldn't come on. And so I bought one, a different brand, but it didn't have LiDAR because okay, LiDAR is the radar stuff. It uses a laser, shoots out a little laser beam that you can't see, and then builds a map of where it's at based off of. Thought I heard a weird noise there, so I was checking it out. Builds a little map of what it's where it's at, and so uh, that's a LiDAR. The other kind doesn't do that; it just bumps into things. Uh, Technically, the LiDAR ones also bump into things, but the other kind doesn't build a map that way, and so the second one I had, I didn't like it because no matter how many times I ran it, it wouldn't build a map of the floor I wanted it to vacuum. And then I also you can get them so they both vacuum and mop, which I like because most of our floor is tile or vinyl flooring, and so I don't think I'm gonna make it home. I didn't make it home. So then I so I had that one for a little bit, and then I was like, I hate this. I hate that it doesn't make the map because it tries to go places I don't want to go, and and I need it to not go places I don't want to go. Uh, because we get like we have a table in the living room, okay, and on top of the table is the TV, but under the table is the PlayStation 5 and all the cords, right? So it's just a huge mess. Whew, I can't talk. I really stopped talking there for a second. So then, so I bought a different one that had LiDAR, um, but it didn't mop. Uh, and all the ones I had before that had mopped, you had to put the mop on it, and it couldn't vacuum while it was mopping. And then once it was done mopping, then you would take the mop off, and so that's a little annoying. And then so then I got the one that just vacuums. That's the one I actually use down here because the floor down here is all carpeted, and so it works great. But I can't tell where it's at on the map It does have a map though, and it did make the map. It just doesn't tell me where on the map it is. And then, so then I'm researching. At that point, I'm looking for what's the best. And then I'm like, okay, I don't want the best, but I want as close as I can afford. And so, people really like Roborock, but the Roborocks at the time didn't have lidar, so they just bounced off things. And so one of the big complaints was it didn't always go everywhere because it just, I don't know how it knows where to go and where not to go, but apparently it wouldn't go everywhere because it would bounce off of things and not go there. And so I found the Roborock and I bought the S7 Max Ultra, right? Had LiDAR, which is a must for me. Can't have a vacuum without LiDAR. I hate them without the LiDAR. It made the map so that I could tell it where not to go. This one has a camera on it, so it detects things on the floor, which is great because I live with people who think that the floor is where you store things and throw trash sometimes. Like, oh, you done with the McDonald's? You just put the McDonald's carton on the floor and walk away. Yeah, that's how that works. So I need the vacuum to know to go around that. And then also, it both vacuums and mops at the same time if you want it to, because the mop doesn't detach. The mop just lifts up out of the way or comes down when you want it to mop. You just have to keep it filled up with. It's got a little dock that it goes into. You fill the dock with water and then it washes the mop and loads the mop, and then when it comes back, the dirty water goes into one container, and there's clean water in the other container, and you just gotta, empty out the dirty water and fill the clean water container with clean water when that happens. In fact, it's telling me right now it needs it done. So then I really like that one, but I didn't think it vacuumed the carpet very well, and so I saw that they had a new version coming out, and I'd been watching that one. And so that finally came out, and so it's got a better vacuuming system than the previous one, and it does an awesome job on the carpet, as well as mopping the floors and stuff on top of that. So, because we do have rugs in a couple of places, and so it's really good at doing the rugs, and it's great because goes around, it maps the house. Oh no, oh no, I'm got my hand on my phone, and so it will it mapped out the first floor where I run it, and then I can split it off into different rooms. And so each room is its own section, and then you can tell it to mop, or you can tell it to clean the whole thing. You can tell it to just a vacuum. You can tell it just to mop. Tell it to vacuum and mop. And the previous one was like that too. Just this one's better at vacuuming the carpet part. And so, and then you can tell it just do a zone. So you like draw on the map, tell it where to go specifically, or you can tell it to do specific rooms. Whatever you need done, it'll do. And so, I normally run it twice a week, and so I usually run it on like Monday nights, Tuesday mornings, and Thursday nights, Friday mornings. I didn't run it last night because I didn't clean the floor up so I could run it, because it can't go over things, and I don't want to just like, it'll detect something like a Kleenex on the floor, and then it will make a circle around that Kleenex where it doesn't clean, because it doesn't want to accidentally pull in that Kleenex or a sock or a shoe, stuff like that. But if it's small enough, it can't detect it, and I don't want it to pick up like hair ties. Everybody in the house has got long hair but me, so there's hair ties everywhere. Or they have like fish tank and plants and stuff, so I'm always having to pick up like dead vines and dead leaves and stuff like that I don't want to go into the vacuum, because it's got a pretty tiny thing. It's not designed to like, it's not designed to like suck up your, I don't even know. I don't know what you normally vacuum that wouldn't just be the tiny stuff that it normally does, like, some cat food or cereal that fell on the floor, it'll do. Or noodle. They eat a lot of ramen. So there's always like dried ramen crunches around, and so it gets those pretty good. And yeah. So I I go upstairs today, and we had some leftover bananas, and so I made some banana bread. And while I was making the banana bread, um, my sister's like, I picked up. There's like two things in the laundry room. Okay, there was like a someone had opened the new bag of cleaning pods, and so the torn off plastic had missed the trash can and was laying on the carpet next to the trash can, right? And I think the kids' shoes were kicked around, and so my sister's like, I picked up in the laundry room, so sometime today maybe you could run the vacuum. Like I'm not the one that normally cleans all that stuff up. I just hadn't got to that point yet this week. No one else runs the vacuum, okay? Let's be clear. I'm the only one that runs this vacuum. No one else in the entire house has ever run the vacuum, the robot vacuums. And so I don't know what she was on about picking up the two little bits of stuff that I saw were there last night, and just thought, I'll get it today. And then while everybody's gone to school and stuff, then I can run the vacuum while I'm working. And so she's like, you need to run it in the laundry room because I picked it up in there. I'm like, okay. And so I went around the house picking up all the other stuff she didn't pick up, because she didn't pick up the plastic bag that was on the floor in the kitchen, or the tops of we had tacos, so somebody ripped open the taco, the bag of taco shells, and just left the plastic tear off the top on the floor. So I picked that up. Somebody dropped a spoon on the floor. She didn't pick that up. I picked that up. There was a pair of folded up pants laying on the floor. I don't know why. I picked that up. She left her computer cords all draped across the floor. She left she was watching a movie on the PlayStation, so she left that laying out in the middle of the floor. So I picked all that up, and then I ran the vacuum while she was gone. And then she apparently got home and spent, like, I don't know, probably 5 minutes cleaning up the mess next to the couch that her and her child had made. And then she goes, I cleaned up next to the couch, so you need to run the vacuum sometime today, because it needs to be done, and you need to get that spot mopped. I'm like, okay, thanks. Why didn't you pick that up this morning before I ran the vacuum? I don't understand. Yeah, if the mess gets too big, then I just make I'm not lying. If the mess gets too big, then I just make little walls of stuff so that the vacuum is like, I can't go there. So, like, for whatever reason, my niece has been sleeping in the living room this week. She had a party last weekend, and so she stayed. Her and her friends stayed in the living room, and so, instead of going back to her bedroom after the weekend was over this week, she was like, I don't feel like carrying my stuff all the way up to my bedroom, so I'm just gonna sleep here. And I mean, I don't care. I don't really use that floor at all anyways, other than to pick it up and clean it a couple times a week. And so she had blankets and pillows and stuff, and so I had just gone and made a wall of that stuff. So she must have, that's what she was cleaning up, but she's making her pick up all that stuff and then take it up to her bedroom, I guess, because it's all gone now. What's crazy is she's like, I moved the couch and cleaned underneath of it, and so the couch is pushed back, so I need you to vacuum. I need you to run the mop over the floor there where the couch was. And so the vacuum has a camera on it, and so I can log into that camera because it takes pictures of things. It uses optical recognition to recognize things it's not supposed to run over, because the LiDAR only detects walls, and so the camera detects the things that are on the floor. And so it's scanning. It's it uses the camera to detect things, and so if it finds something, it takes a picture of it. And so it'll, like, take a picture of a shoe, and it'll be like, "This is a shoe." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm aware it's a shoe." This is a piece of cloth that I shouldn't mow or shouldn't mow, shouldn't vacuum over. I'm like, "Yep, don't vacuum up the Kleenex or the sock or whatever it was." Yep, that's a good vacuum. You're doing what you're supposed to. And oh, you know what? I need to look for my boat. And but I can actually log into the vacuum, and then oh, I didn't use the boat here though. Weird. I don't know what I did with my boat. And then I can see through the camera, and so I in particular areas of the house, I like to have the camera on while it's doing the edges so that I can make sure it didn't get tangled up in something, because they're playing on the PlayStation at the moment, so I want to make sure they didn't drag some cords out. So I turn on the camera, and then I can watch it as it goes along the edge near the PlayStation to make sure it doesn't hook any cords, because it's got like a little it's got a little brush that spins around at the edges to kick anything from the corners into the path of the vacuum. And sometimes that will get hung up into stuff. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my boat. So when I turn that on, lo and behold, she didn't clean underneath the couch. She just moved the couch. I can still see the pop cans underneath the couch. She need to go back and clean up some more. She's gonna clean the. Can I use two different kinds of wood? She's gonna clean under the couch. Get all. I clean under the couch. You need to run the mop. You can use different kinds. All right. Well, I have plenty of food. The trick is going to be, though, I probably don't have plenty of time. Yeah, so that's why I was a little distracted there at the start of the video, because it was going along the edges, and I wanted to make sure it didn't get caught up in any cords or anything. And then so I can't see. I can see the map, and I can see where it's at on the map, and it leaves a little trail on the map letting me know where it's been. And so it actually has an indicator, like it's a white line telling me where it's vacuumed, and then a see-through white splotch along that line. So basically it covers the whole floor in white splotch, indicating that it's mopped there as well. And then if it's detected anything it thinks that it shouldn't go over, then it will take a picture of it, and then there's a little icon on the map indicating that there's something there that it shouldn't go over. And so when I got super distracted earlier, what had happened was like 3 or 4 icons appeared all in the same area that I had already been upstairs and saw was clear. And so I thought maybe the girls had got up and her friends over again. So I thought maybe the girls had gone someplace and just left a big mess in the way. And it's weird. And but no, it was the dog. He likes to stand where the vacuum's trying to go. In fact, today he kicked the vacuum while it was running. He jumped over it one way and then jumped over the other side and kicked it off course. Because it annoys me because like I said, it'll take a picture of what it thinks is a problem, and then once it's taken a picture, it then avoids that area while cleaning, expecting you to take care of that spot. And so very often, very often, people will come through and walk in front of the vacuum, and then and then and then it will detect them as something in the way, and then it will avoid that spot while it's cleaning. And it's some places it's okay, right? Like if it sees somebody's foot next to the couch, who cares? That's not that big a deal. But if you're standing in the middle of the kitchen, which is like the place that needs the most mopping, that's a problem. Gotta go around behind this jungle here, I think, and see how far in I can get without tripping it. I don't want to get too close in there. I hate going in the jungle. Mm. But yeah, I like it a lot because it saves me so much time from having to vacuum and then mop. Because you can't just mop here, because not only do the people have long hair, but the dog sheds like he's a hair waterfall. And so every time I go up there, there's just dog hair. And then you wait a couple of days, and then there's like tufts of dog hair. Like, I don't know what the deal is. Like, I feel like he should be bald at this point. And Yeah, so I was getting annoyed having to. Well, I wasn't vacuuming, I was sweeping up the vinyl stuff, and a couple of times a week. And then this saves me from having to do that. I just have to go through and pick up any big chunks of whatever, uh, hair ties and plastic bag and people's pants for some reason, a shoe, just a random shoe without its mate, pins, laptop cords, uh, three PlayStation controllers, um, that kind of stuff. And then I can tell it to go. And if I do it at night, this feather. If I do it at night, then everybody's asleep, and it will. I can pick it all up and then just run it, and nobody bothers it. Well, no, that's not true. The cats sometimes will get in the way, because they also like to see if they can distract the vacuum from going where it's supposed to for no reason. And yeah, yeah, you can set up for routines. It's got different levels of mopping and different levels of vacuuming. Uh, and so I often like to tell it to once a week do a heavy vacuum and then a heavy mop on top of that. And so I have a little routine set up. So I just push the push the button, and then it goes through and vacuums and mops. It takes a couple hours. It has to recharge um, part of the way through because of how much work it's doing. A normal just vacuum mop run will only take it down to about 50 45% charge. But when I do a big all together thing, then it I don't know what it's trying to do right. Then it'll have to stop and recharge. I do like the new one is way better than the old one because the old one would have to do a full charge before it would go back out, and the new one just gets up to about 35% or so, and then it will go out and finish the last little bit that it didn't finish. So that's cool. So, all right, I think that's enough of talking about talking about these robot. I love the robot vacuum, man. It's crazy. Like I think it is the dumbest, adultest thing that I just love to talk about. Is this robot vacuum? I don't like. It's so weird how much I enjoy this robot vacuum. I don't know why. I just do. But all right, with that, be brand the small things, lean the light. I will talk to you later.